All right, welcome in. Hey everyone, John here. I am the lead maintainer of the open source latterly.io educational platform for software engineers. And today we are working on two things as time allows. The first is to finish up this pull request, which improves the profile search feature. So here currently, if I search for Rails, then I see no results or found because there's not a substring match. So here, Ruby on Rails is not found searching for Rails. So this feature improvement enhances the skill search to include substring match. So we will finish that up. The feature implementation is done, but there are some test and build issues outlined here. So that's what we're going to go through. And then there is a second issue captured in issue number 427. We might even be able to do this one because that's small as well. So this just needs a space character. You can see in that screenshot, pretty easy one. And this one, the checklist is not showing up. So we need to fix that. So these are the things that we'll work on today. And with that, let's dive into the first issue. So here in my local cursor instance, I have fetched remote branches. So I was working on this feature branch on a different machine. So I fetched it here and now I'll check it out. So I'll check out and let's verify which one is this. 423-better search. Okay, so 423 and I can tab to complete it. So now I'm on that branch and I want to push a commit to update the recommended extensions because I want to recommend this theme that I like that I'm currently using, which is the OneDark Pro theme from Binarify. So the recent cursor update changes the default look and feel of cursor, and I prefer this one for higher contrast. So you can look for OneDark Pro, and it's this top one, and when you install it, there are different variations. And I am using the flat. It includes the word flat. I don't know. Anyway, a bunch of these will look pretty good, but that is the particular one that I'm using. Okay, so we'll commit this, and this is chore recommend theme. And now I'm going to go look at this comment. So that commit worked. And so let's look at this comment. I want to regression test some edge cases. I want to test each filter. So let me just get this going. Make sure that I'm updated on the packages. I think so, but better to be safe. Run dev. And open up localhost. So the first case that we are going to test is test each filter on this browse view. So here in production, we can see open to work filters to those that are open to work, has contact info if you have email or LinkedIn, networking interest, these are the pink ones, and so on. So now in my local instance, you can see these things look, I think, better. Let's check open to work. Okay, that works. What about has contact info? Good. Networking interests? Good. Let's try to do two of them. So what if I want to see pink and green? Good. And then let's add the contact info as well. So Frederick Chon here, does he have his contact info? And do I see email? I guess LinkedIn is considered contact info. Let's double check the code. So this is in the coverage directory. We'll exclude that. Okay, so and this is, yeah, we can leave the test code. So these are some relevant matches. This is the page that I'm interested in. If you have a contact, we pass that into this filter chip. And then how are we evaluating that? Profile contact email is not null. Profile contact email is not null. Okay, so in prod, you have contact email. It's not just email. Has contact here. Okay, there's email. Maybe it always is email. I thought the LinkedIn is considered a contact, right? So this is localhost. What about in production? Email and LinkedIn, it says. And this one is just LinkedIn. And I guess there's nobody that has only email. So is Justin Gregorio showing up here? No. And I see in Christina's case, it says has contact, so the email shows up. But in Frederick's case, it doesn't say has contact, and it still shows up. So what I think is happening is that the chip is being shown if the email is there, but the filtering is happening if email or LinkedIn is there. So I just want the chip to show up in the case of LinkedIn or email. So here we'll change this to say has email. Here's my Prisma schema. And I will ask cursor within this, I use the backticks to specify code. Within this function, if has contact should evaluate as true if the user has email or LinkedIn values. And I can be a little more specific, profile linked in URI. So currently it's checking where profile contact email, but I want it to do an OR operation. Welcome in, y'all. We're still kicking off. Thanks for the likes, 13 likes on TikTok so far. So now we have this OR statement, so let's test that. So I'm going to refresh, and now Frederick Chan is still showing, Justin is still showing as expected, but I want to see the chip. And so here in the community member list item, I think this is where we want to update it. I'm also seeing that the user type is messed up. So let me add a to-do fix on that. Okay. Now update the community member list item. And I'll also give it context about the whole page because it flows through the page. So I'm giving it this context, and I will say now update the community member list item so that email is displayed as a chip if they have email, and LinkedIn is displayed as a chip if they have LinkedIn. And email plus LinkedIn is displayed if they have both as a single chip. All three of these contact information chips should use the same color. So I'm accepting these changes, but now I want to go look at what it did. So we replaced a check on email with email and LinkedIn for there, or just email or just LinkedIn. Looks good to me, but let's verify it manually. So Frederick Chon is not showing up, although the LinkedIn is there. Okay, so I have a case where a user has LinkedIn, but the chip is not shown. And here I'll use a question because it might be related to the propagation of this user type. Is the right data being passed in this? So I'll use a question. Okay, so it was not sending the LinkedIn URI from the database, from the server to the client. So we're doing full stack development here in case that wasn't clear. Let's accept all of this. Now I see LinkedIn on Justin, LinkedIn on Frederick, both on Christina. Is there a case of only email? I don't see any of them, but that's fine. So this looks good to me. Now let's try to filter on gray and green. We get them both. What about with networking interests? We got Frederick. Okay, so let's commit this, and I think the regression test is passing. So this is feat specify LinkedIn or email as contact info. Okay. Now I want to fix the user type. Let's fix the type error, which says in client, I'll just specify the line. And we're vibe coding, y'all. Welcome to vibe coding. One of the ways that we can safeguard vibe coding, as you can see, is the manual regression checks that I did. I also have a test suite, so let's go ahead and run that. Besides making sure there's no manual regressions, we want to make sure that there's no automated test regressions as well. Thank you so much. I'll accept the file change and run the tests after. npm run test. Okay, tests are still looking good. My unit tests. This is showing me the diff. I guess that's what I asked for. Here we have some unused imports now. So the type is no longer complaining. So we'll get rid of my to-do comment. And I don't see any red dots along this right hand. So I'll stage that. It looks to be fixed, and let's control click into this component and make sure that this file is happy as well. I think it looks good. So let's stage it. That was just a type fix, so I don't expect a regression, but we'll test it anyway. Refresh the page. We got Frederick, and then if I uncheck him, Christina has these two. If I uncheck her, let's see. And then Tony comes up. Good. Good. Okay, so this will be fix type issue. Now let's look at the next thing to fix. Name and skill substrings. So we're going to manually test the skill substring that we're designed to fix here. It was fixed earlier, but we've changed some things, so it's worth testing again. And the good test case is to search for Rails, because pretty much everyone is specified like Ruby on Rails. Yeah, so we're catching Ruby on Rails when I just searched Rails. What about if I search Ruby? Whoa, it's changing on every key down. I don't want that. Oh, I have two different, I don't know how I missed that. I have two different search fields. Yeah, that's not good. That's definitely confusing. Currently, there are two search fields on the community page. This is confusing. There should only be one. The remaining field should use a search button, not a key up or key down event. Chronicle. Hello, great resources to become a full stack developer. Latterly.io. Link is in the bio. We teach a project-based curriculum, open source for full stack development. You can see it in the blog. Very first article, Building a Quality Portfolio, talks about the big 4 projects. When you complete those projects, you'll be ready to apply for a full stack developer role, or front end or back end. So what have we done here? We're using state, good. We have this additional search input thing here. Handle search. Removing the handle search change, the on change, removing that, very good. And here we have an on key press. I'll copy this because I don't think we want that. Nope, I still have 2. Ah, okay. I know where the confusion is coming from. Client community page. The search field is duplicate of the server component. So that was another case where I didn't provide cursor the proper context. So I'm going to accept these even though it didn't do what I want. Actually, this looks pretty good. I'll just say I want the page heading declared in the server component, because I don't need client logic to render that. So we previously said Search, we previously said member profiles, now it says community members. And I have a title attribute on this latterly page wrapper. Okay, I guess I removed it at some point. That's fine. So now it's inside of the card. That's okay. We want the filters to be on the front end because the user will click them. So that's okay to be there. I think this is fine. So in prod, it looks like this, but I think the new way is fine. Community member profiles, and then I do like in prod we have search member profiles default text. I like that, so let's do that. Here's the input. I think it's going to be like default value. No. Placeholder. Let's see. Search profiles component. Yeah, I like that it's separated into its own component. And it's using the placeholder value. Yeah. Should we use this reusable search profiles component? Robin, thanks for the follow. And Claude agrees it makes sense to use that reusable one. That should take care of the fact that the Claude implementation is using this deprecated on key press. And that's nice. We can see that eliminates like a dozen lines. So it shrinks this component. How does it look? Community member profiles. And now I see search member profiles. So here, if I search Rails, we pass the test. What if I search React? So I do an exact match. That also passes. Interestingly, it shows Frederick, who does have React, even though it's not a top skill. And I like that it also matches React.js. I love that. Is this coined? This is not coined and this is not Klein. We are using Claude. Okay, good. Do a quick regression test. Open to work. Everybody's open to work. Has contact, networking interests, and then we can do green, pink, and gray, all three. Looks like it's working to me. The tests are still passing. Good, so at this point I'll stage and I will this is almost like a fix, isn't it? Fix, deduplicate, search inputs. Deduplicate search inputs. And specifically, we are using 3.7, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I guess it says auto select. That's cool. Helps you select the best model. I guess that's new. I'm partial to Sonnet 3.7, so you can select it if you want to be sure about which one you're using, but it seems to be working fine to me. All right. And now we want to search individual description info. So I think in my own, I say something about coffee, yeah. Okay, so sometimes I drink coffee, and that search is working. So all three of these regression tests are now passed. This says manual regression test and fix build, so it's still to do to fix the build. We can see tests are passing, but there's a build issue. So we'll fix the build. Here, what do I say? One more feature enhancement. When user submits a text search, show them a bit of text like an info icon. Search text may match, yeah. Search text may match on the user profile outside of the summary card. And so the case for that is exactly this React case. If a search has been submitted, present the user an info icon with a bit of informational text, which says, search results may match based on profile data not written, profile data outside of the preview card. For example, these cards show the user show the top 3 skills, but other skills may result in a filter in a match for the search. Click the user profile to see their full profile. Click the user name. Yeah, click the user name. Click the member name to see their full profile. So the end user we have in mind here is mainly a recruiter. We're trying to give a good experience to recruiters who are searching for candidates. This is just to alert them that, like, hey, I searched React, Frederick or whoever showed up, but it doesn't look like a match on the preview card, but we're just telling them, hey, like, click in and you'll see it. So it's telling us that we want to use hero icons, but we already have a different icon library installed. So I'll give it awareness on that. We already have an icon library installed with, and we are using okay. We already have an icon library installed. Use the existing package. And now it's detecting Lucid React. Perfect. Search results may match based on profile data outside of the preview card. For example, these cards show the top 3 skills, but other skills may result in a match for the search. Click the member name to see their full profile. Okay, so if there's nothing there, it doesn't show. Now it does show. Great. Extract this search search information search user information component. Let's create the component where it's going to put the code. Search user information .tsx. Const search user information. I don't want to export default. I want to export const. And I'll cut this out. Okay. So we've moved this over. So we extract that component, simplify the client community page component. This is looking good. And here, I want to add a close button to this informational text fragment. Cool, we just get an X and you hover, it looks good. Closes, looks good. So it's there by default. It's not here by default. If I say coffee. Oh, John's not found anymore. What did I misspell coffee? Coffee, it has two F's, right? Wow, what happened? Oh, because I have all these things turned on. Yeah. Well, that's not good. Sometimes I drink coffee. It's right there, right? So we lost that somehow. Let's look at this code change. What could have happened that did that? There's nothing here. I must have missed it in my last commit. So here's the search term. All right, we'll do one thing at a time. We'll commit this because it works. So this is feat closable information, search information, search info. Now when the search term is coffee, I am failing to get an expected result, which is users that have coffee in there, and let's get the technical name here. Profile blurb. Justin Stolp stopping by. The man, the legend. Okay, I think when I did the type fix earlier, it trimmed that field. So now when I look for coffee, I find me. Great. Probably we should add a test case for that. Add a test case for the blurb search. I'm going to copy this and revert it. I'm seeing a bunch of type errors now that I didn't see a second ago, but it might have just been IDE lag. So I'll discard that. And yeah, the errors were already there. Okay. I'll stage this. Now let me undo this and see if the test fails now. Good. Okay, so it fails as expected. Oh, great. I've lost my clipboard. And now it passes as expected. Okay, good. I almost thought I lost that fix for a moment there. We still had it. Okay, so this is a fix. Fix search on blurb. All right, so I also want to do down here at the next, the ability to go to page. This is fine. I like the ability to like go to first, go to last, but that's a nice to have, so we'll skip it. One more enhancement. How can I set my profile to public? Yeah. So make a little link here. You can set your profile to public from the, and then there's like a weird link. Because it used the link React icon, but I want the Next.js link. Okay, I want this to be a little bit smaller. I'm not logged in. All right, so I'll sign in with Google. I want to enhance an issue over here. I have an issue for the redirect. If someone clicks, yeah, same for settings. If a logged out user visits settings, invite them to sign up or log in instead of the current situation where we redirect to the home page. Han, thank you for the follow. Okay, so we can enhance that in a future issue if we want to. Here, we just want to give them a little text blurb. You can set your profile to public from the settings page. That looks good. But I want to fix the width here. So the width is kind of goofy, right? So we need to flex it. We need to flex it. Cool. So the paragraph is actually here. And this should be a div with a flex on it. Great. Thank you, Cursor, for the amazing tab auto completions. You can set your profile to public from the settings page. Great. I think that looks good. It's a bit large. Can I shrink this icon? Yeah. And instead of H4, W4, I'll say size 4, which is just a shorthand. Good, and that's a little clean little line. But is it confusing to, I think that's fine. It might be a little bit confusing to have this here, even if the user's profile is already public. The user experience bias that would create is it would create a bias for people to sign up when they don't necessarily need to, but I'm okay with that for the trade-off of less, like faster load. All right, quick regression tech. Green, gray, green, gray, pink. It's looking good. Rails is looking good. Coffee. Nobody shows up. Nobody wants the coffee. But there's John when you take off the open to work thing. Okay. Did Tony put a dash in here? It's weird that his 18 years of experience has a dash. Oh, it says like negative 18? That's funny. I wonder if he just entered in negative 18 by accident. These are looking good to me. Like Kurt's looks really good to me. All right. So I think we knocked out some of those nice to have additional features. And now we just need to do the build fixes. So let's look at this next to last build. And it's mad about the routes. Setup TSX in tests. Okay, yeah, it's mad about implicit any's. So we'll go for explicit any's. So this will be feat. This is really test. Type some mocks. I'm going to, as a nice to have, I'm going to ask it to, can we type some of these arguments, like the routes argument, more strongly? Let's just see what it does. And this is all test code, so no need to worry about regression checking the UI. Tests are still passing. The types are much stronger. Let's see if I look for routes. And now I have these record types. Okay, so now I'll close all the things and we will watch the latest two builds. I'll go ahead and mark this as ready for review. So laterally is at about 900 commits. This will take it over 900. We're getting close to 1,000 mark on the commits for laterally. That'll be cool. That build also failed. Let's see why. Cannot find name create caller factory. Okay, so we're using some sort of a mock, but we might want to import the real one. Let's see if the secondary stronger types also fail for the same reason. Honestly, the test file should be excluded from the build. Yeah, actually that's the real thing we should be doing here. It shouldn't be trying to build the test code at all. Good, so we were excluding coverage, but we weren't excluding the whole test directory. So this is fix build by excluding tests directory. That should also speed up the build. So let's look at this failed build. We'll look at both of them and see how long they took. A minute 3. They both took a minute 3. Okay. Consistent timing. That's pretty cool. So this one might take longer because it's not failing. Failing can short circuit the whole build. If it does fail, actually, yeah, I have no idea. It could be faster or slower. It could fail later on, or it could pass later on, or it could pass or fail earlier. but there's a chance. There's a chance it'll be faster. Adam, if my eyes aren't watery and red, then I didn't write enough code. That's right, brother. Tell them. Brother. Thanks for the likes, y'all. On TikTok, we're over 50 likes. No other channels are even competing. No one has any game on the talk. Oh, Prod Fishy says hi on Twitch. Welcome in, Prod Fishy. That's good water. I love water. Don't you agree, Prod Fishy? Prod Fishy, there's 93 likes on TikTok, but if you really put your work in, I don't know, can they multi-like, or on Twitch do they only like on 1 like per person? Once again, there's a chance. There's a chance you could come back and set the record straight and have Twitch be the champion. Okay, so this failed later, but these are pretty straightforward fixes. Pretty straightforward fixes. And they're good errors. So we have some nullish coalescing operators when we could do... Oh no, we have logical ORs where we could do nullish coalescing and it would be safer. Great build failure. Don't be afraid of failing builds. And then... let's expand this somewhere else. There's some warnings about, okay, you could change your Tailwind syntax. I don't care that much. Flex shrink 0 should be updated with shrink 0. Okay. H5, W5 can be size 5. Okay. These are like some minor build. These are like warning fixes. The router has an extraneous import, so let's go delete that. Oh, it's not extraneous, it's just over-specified. So Prisma is only used as a type. So here, and then how's the enum used? The enum is also used as a value, okay? So I can type it like this, and that can better tree shake. That improves the ability to tree shake the build, so I like that. And then these ones are more serious. So let's go look. And sometimes this is a good lint error because usually they can be recast in a safer way, but not always. So sometimes we need to actually rework the code. Yeah, in this case it can. What about has more? Yeah, in this case it can. And what about these logical ORs? I don't know, 43, 44, is it complaining on those? 40, it's complaining on 44, but not 43. It's complaining on 44, but not 43. Okay, so the parse int wrapper makes it allowable, but this get q, yeah, I think it's fine because if it's an empty string, it won't bypass the nullish guard. So that works for me. We'll do a quick manual regression test. I'll also rerun the test suite. I think that's fine. So the full unit test suite is happy. The impacted parameter is the search term here. So we'll do my coffee search. That works. We'll do the React substring search. We get Frederick on the external page with React.js. It's looking good. So I think that's a safe refactor. So this will be fix, build, errors, and a couple warnings. Now we're over 420 likes. All right, sorry, Prod Fishy. Twitch is cooked. TikTok is winning tonight. Welcome in, everyone on TikTok. I hope you'll consider following the page and signing up at Latterly. It's an open source curriculum that will either help you learn to code, or if you already code, it'll help you social network with hundreds of people on the Discord. If you're on YouTube, by the way, the Discord link is in the bio. Everyone else can go to latterly.io and it's under the community dropdown. So under the community dropdown, here's the Discord link. Would love to see you there. All right, so let's watch this build. We're 40 seconds in, and I'm expecting it to pass around in less than 3 minutes. In less than 3 minutes. Can expand this. You can see the build is, ooh, we have some more errors, is that right? Another of the same kind of error, but in a different file. Oh, is it in the same file? Did I miss one? Now it's complaining about line 43 all of a sudden. Okay. So what if I have a numeric page that's like undefined or an empty string? I bet this will mess it up if I do a strange string. Jason, welcome in. Jason says, what are you working on? We're working on latterly.io. And we are mainly improving the profile browse for recruiters. So the end user is a recruiter who's trying to like fill a Ruby on Rails role, for example. If they search Ruby on Rails, boom, they get results. But if they just search Ruby, oh, they can't see it, except a person who's named Ruby. Cool name. Or if they just search Rails, it looks like no one knows Rails. But the truth is, a bunch of people in the community know Rails. They just usually call it Ruby on Rails. So this is the substring skill search that we're supporting. Okay, so let's go to localhost, community, browse. Here, I'm going to hit next. So now I'm on page 1. The page is working. I can go next. 2, it's working. Let's check the falsy case. When page is 0, it still looks to work. Now, let me mess it up. I'll say page banana. Yeah, and so it's in this bad state now. Okay. So when it gets into this bad state, I just want it to be 0. So that would be like a logical OR is actually the reason to do that. But we want to refactor it to be whatever, to basically satisfy the compiler. So we'll try to get it, and we'll check if it's not a number. Okay, so we'll move the operation out here. String is not assignable to this. We need to do it twice. I kind of hate that, but whatever. So if it's not a number, it goes to 0. Otherwise, it's the number. We'll just calculate it twice. It's a trivial operation. So now banana goes to 0, and I can next it over to 1. And when I hit back, I'm not a banana, I'm a 0. Okay, I think it's fine. The unit tests are happy. Whatever. It's trivial. Fix another build issue. So previously we failed at basically the 1 minute mark, 1 minute and 4 seconds. So let's have a goal of hitting 1 minute 30. I can also just run the build locally. I don't know if it's going to be any faster. Oh, it did update my sitemap though. What's the change here? I don't actually see a change. It passed locally. Let's revert that. If it passed locally, it should pass remotely, eh? And we cleared the type checker. So we're just collecting the build traces. Come on, I want to beat a minute 30. Let's go. Green, and we broke a minute 30. That's a nice, fast, safe build. We'll view the deployment quickly. So here you can see I'm in a staging environment. Let's just go over there and make sure it doesn't look stupid. Okay, I get the things. Stuff still works over here, right? Frederick is showing up. What up, Freddie? Freddie B. I don't know why I said that. His last name's John. What about John? The Johns are here. What about coffee? The John is here. Okay, the John is here. Time to ship it. Bam. One issue down. So 423 auto closed. Love to see it. Now let's do this one. This will be a nice quick PR. Git fetch origin main. Git checkout -b. I'll call this charfix. Git reset hard origin main. We'll push that, upstream it. Okay, and what blog article is this? This is the behavioral interview blog article. So here's the file, and the text says Formation's valued engineering traits and Amazon leadership principles. Leadership principles. Boom. So here it is. That's the space character we need. So this is fix missing space. Might be the fastest PR I've ever done anywhere, on the job or off the job. So this closes 425. Boom. Add a space character, bro. All right. This should clear in under a minute 30. And so let's start thinking about the next one. LLM redirect, I don't necessarily plan to cover that. This one is a bigger one. I mean, I don't plan to cover it today necessarily. Eventually we'll get there. That's a good one for the next stream. So here, if I npm run dev, what exactly is going on? Oh, it's not a blog issue. It's the checklist, right? I think I'm going to do these two PRs together because one's pretty trivial. Yeah, so here, when I inspect, what's going on? Argon 2 is not defined. Ooh, interesting. My basic checklist. This is the Blitz app. That's the wrong one. My basic checklist. Here we go. Why do I see Argon 2 is not defined when I load this page, which is marked as use client? Do I need to split the server from client component? Okay, so it's going to try to split it. Let's see if it can do it successfully. Now let's create the client component. It's trying to create client basic checklist. I want it to put it right here. It's trying to create source app checklist, my basic check. It's trying to create it in the correct place. Hey, nice. Love that. Client basic checklist. It's going to export default function. I'll change this to an arrow syntax. I think this is a IDE problem. I don't think there's actually a problem in the code there. Okay, so now I have the checklist here. Boom, and it loads. Good. Let's similarly fix the premium checklist. So I think I'll just need to close and open cursor to get the IDE to reanalyze itself, basically. Okay, so we'll go to the home. Standard checklist looks good. We'll go to the home. Advanced checklist looks good. Rerun all tests. Cool. This is fix checklist unable to render. So the missing space PR is working. Now we have the second. This will say closes 427. Laterally at 916 commits. Feel free to go give it a star if you want, chat. I can't wait till we get over 1,000 commits. I can't wait to see how it looks when we hit 1,000 commits. That'll be fun. Cool. So we'll visit this preview environment, and I will log out of localhost. I will log into the preview. Logging into the preview is not going to work, I don't think. Let me try this way. Okay. So the password-based login still worked. Checklist looks good. Checklist looks good. And it remembered. Yay. So my data is preserved as well. Now we'll log out. Looks good to me. So now we got 122 closed and 132 open issues. We're almost at the inversion point where there's more closed pull requests than there are